Hey guys, thanks for joining me again on another episode of Jack's Mechanics. Today we've got a 2014 Subaru WRX. It's not an STI, it is a FB20, and I'm just bringing up the trouble codes. Apparently we have an intermittent check engine light on this car. It is a previous car to this workshop but a new customer, so we'll just have a look. Just in the OBD, we have a P113a, manufacturer specific, so we'll have to leave this and go into Subaru. Sorry about that glare on the screen. Move this over here. I'll just pause the video and get past the boring stuff. Maybe. Let's see how quick we can do it. Oops. Okay. 14. No, that's not right. I thought it was a WRX. Maybe it was. Oh no, sorry, this is an Impreza. There we go. Okay, we'll go code scan. We've got our key on. O2 sensor circuit open, bank 1 sensor 2. Startability malfunction. Not really worried about that. There was no complaints. So open, sensor circuit open. I would imagine if it was talking about the heater, it would say heater. But I guess we'll find out. We'll let this code scan run through. Sometimes Subaru can take a little bit of time. It's trying to detect a transmission, even though this thing's manual, but I might just go back, see if we can exit out of this. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the channel. Quite enjoying making these videos. Sometimes they're a bit hit and miss with the diagnosis and or the pathway. But I think I've said in the past, we have people who are always ahead of us, people are always behind us. So if we can teach each other and build the industry up, that's what it's all about. Just hit the 400 subscribers earlier on this morning, which is a pretty nice achievement. Every 100's pretty good. So it was bank 1, sensor 2. Maybe in fuel control. Intake. It's either going to be in here or the engine. I wish this had a search feature. That would be nice. Oxygen sensor, bank 1, sensor 1. Sensor, bank 1, sensor 2. Alright, start this and see what happens. Doesn't look like it's actually any data, it's just telling us it has one, I guess. 1 sensor 1. Rear O2 heater. Should have paused the video for you guys. Sorry about that. Just, background sensor 1. I mean, if it was background sensor 1, we would have been laughing. And we've got some current flowing through the heater on the rear O2 sensor, but I'd just like to see some actual data. That's what I am right there. Retard. So this looks like the same data as what I had last time. The other fuel delivery. I might just go to the actual sensor itself and see. Don't understand. Maybe I went by it. Maybe I'm going too quick. Sometimes I do that. I was talking about one of my good friends, Matt, the other day, trying to help him out. I was reading his question. Well, I tried to read it. I just bloody skipped over it, and he'd already done what I'd recommended. Just need to slow down sometimes. No check engine light at the moment. And they're on 169,000 Ks. So we do have some voltage on the sensor too. Past it. Okay, bank license still. Let's just see what happens with. Give it some RPM. Not sure why that drops down to near 0 volts. Well, near 0 volts. Maybe it's got a intermittent open. Would have thought, would it go high if it was open? I think generally you would expect it to go high, or to its bias voltage. I'll just see if I can find out some information on that actual P113. In fact, we'll go back and we'll have a look at the freeze frame. Okay. Maybe it doesn't like the fact that it's going all the way down to 0 volts. Fuel trim's obviously looking pretty good there. Looks like we're just sort of maybe cruising to a stop, no throttle, 1300 RPM. Yeah, I'll just go see if I can do some research on the actual code, see if we can find out why the code's set, see if it can point us in the direction of maybe the heater, or maybe it's the wiring itself. Then we'll just go to the wiring and carry out a couple of tests. So I couldn't find anything online whether to point us in the direction of the heater or the sensor signal. So I'm just going to take it for a quick drive and actually have a look at the data, get the O2 sensor warmed up, and maybe use that as some direction. Yeah, well, we'll take it for a drive and assess it. We need to get the car on a hoist, so I've just freed up the hoist for when I come back. We'll get the undercover off and have a look at I think it's going to be the sensor signal itself, or the sensor failing. I would have thought that it would go to full voltage rather than 0 voltage if it was going open. Maybe not. I've been wrong many times before, so we'll have a look at some data, go from there. So we're just looking at the data here, guys. EQ down the bottom, bank 2, bank 1 sensor 2 at the top, just here, and we can see we have a pretty nice even 1 volt line here, and at some points we have very low voltage, and this rear sensor is really all over the place. If we keep going along, we sort of want to see them like mirror each other, not do the same thing, basically do the opposite. As you can see here, we've got low and high, and then here and here. So this part from like 600 to 640 frames, it's staying really low voltage, and there's really no reason for it to be stuck low voltage. So I think what we're going to be looking at, especially the sensor will definitely be warm. Our fuel trims are still looking good at this point. We're definitely going to be looking towards a sensor signal issue rather than a heater. We give it a pretty hard drive, so the sensor should have been nice and awake. Yeah, but as you can see, mirrored. There was another point that I seen in here. So about this part here, it just sort of drops down to near and around 0 volts. That would be. Yeah, it's really low voltage there again, where most of the time it's all pretty accurate. Maybe this is where it's not happy. So this is normal. We've got really lean condition here, and obviously we're going to see 0 volts. High on the wideband, high voltage on the wideband is lean, and low on the narrow band is also lean. So we'll get this up in the air and actually have a check at this sensor and see what's actually going on. Probably have a look on the harness side, make sure that there's not like a pin fitment issue. If we're getting 0 voltage there randomly, we'll pull the sensor out and inspect it. Okay guys, so we're hooked into the sensor signal and the ground. Here we're just idle, around 650 millivolts. We gave it a stab throttle and it dropped down straight away, and then we gave it another one and came back up, and another one and it came back up, and then it dropped lean, and it was lean, and then a stab throttle, left it idling, and it was stuck lean, for a while until it slowly made its way back up again, and we paused the capture. So I'm going to pull out this oxygen sensor and just have a look what's going on. We are on the harness side of the connector, so potentially I think I might just swap over to the oxygen sensor side and quickly retake my capture and make sure it's not you know what, actually I'll swap the ground one over to the same one on the sensor signal and just make sure they're doing the same thing. So guys, we're back with the Subaru. You have to forgive me, it's been like 2 weeks, more probably nearly like 3 weeks. Excuse me. My wife had had a baby, so I've been on maternity leave as well, and got the co-worker yesterday to put the O2 sensor in. The car only come back yesterday, so here we are, we're idling, car's nice and warm, and we're up, you know, near 800 millivolts. EQ ratio is good, the fuel trims are looking all right, in closed loop, 63 degrees and still warming up. But yeah, I'm sure you guys will remember better than me, because this video will be, you know, only 10-15 minutes, and it's been 3 weeks for me. This was just randomly dropping down to 0 volts. I'm pretty sure in my last clip I was trying to check if it was a pin fitment issue with the scope. Excuse me, and I couldn't, from memory, I couldn't actually work it out why. Every time I would join it up, it was dropping the pulling the signal down to ground. So what I actually ended up doing was just disconnecting it, and with our little U-terminal test kit that we were using, I just basically plugged it in, got a male pin, plugged it into the female side of the connector, the wiring harness, and just checked for pin drag, made sure that they weren't floppy. Everything was mint, so we put a sensor in it and everything's looking good. So yeah, sorry about that last part, I couldn't get that to work out. Still learning all this sort of stuff with the scope, and you know, this is as much training for me as it is for you guys, and yeah, hopefully you guys can maybe help me out as well. But yeah, just doing this for more fun than anything, share a little bit of knowledge that I have, and yeah, I'm sure it'll help out somebody. But we'll take it for a quick drive, confirm that it does not dropping down to 0 volts, and this one will be ready to ship. So I'll take it for a quick burn and get you on the data in the next clip. So just taking it for a drive, guys. You can see we do have a 0 volts, but where it's expected to be. On diesel, full lean cut, the injectors are fully cut off, so that's going to be standard. And you can see the rest of them are all mirrored pretty nicely. We'll have a look here. There's no really excessive lean parts in the graph where they shouldn't be. This is just, for some reason it won't let me press on the screen and move the cursor across to change the numbers, but for ease I've just locked these on the screen. So if you want to do that, you got the little lock button up the top right there. You go into your highlight your PID, hit the lock, and then you can just rotate through the bottom two. Just makes it easier, holds them together. But yeah, everything's looking good here. We'll just go back onto the data, make sure. I believe our main problem was idle anyway. When you know, you were getting those big sections of complete 0 volts. Had a look at the O2 sensor. I told them to save it. Doesn't look too bad, not like heavily carboned up or anything like that. So looks like just a failing sensor. Swap hands.
nice and steady. Don't worry about the peaks and how much it looks like it's changing. It's changing 0.005 of a volt, so yeah, really no change at all. Nice and steady. So this is the P113a, 02 sensor code. Can't remember again because it's been a few weeks now, but yeah, sorry about it all being mucked up at the end of the video here. Unfortunately, that's how it is sometimes in reality. So hope you guys enjoyed it, hope you took something away from it. Please consider liking, please consider subscribing. We'll catch you in the next one, guys. Take care.